Hello everybody, it's Robert Trout. It's October 7th, 2025, and I thought what I do tonight is to review my Lasius colonies. And I'm hoping this is a Lasius colony. I'm not very good at identification, but what I do know is that I did have a Tapanoma colony in here last year, and during hibernation, they managed to make a great escape out of the hydration tube on the side there when it came apart, and by springtime it was empty. And this is sort of my pet rock colony. It's got a big stone in the middle of this setup, and it sits in the sun, keeps it warm, and got a black felt cover on the back with test tubes buried in behind that stone, so for them to nest in and whatnot. And the water and sugar water out the front. You might notice that the acrylic is a little bit foggy, etc. It's because it has a coating of mineral oil on it to help prevent escapes. And as well, there is inside cover on this setup with talcum powder. So making this setup almost escape-proof, as long as things like watering tubes and that sort of thing don't come apart. So, yeah, I found this ant colony in sort of an ant trap that I had set up outside in early spring. That was just basically a series of plastic pots stacked one on top of the other. And they sort of move in, and, because of the heat. And when I finally separated those pots apart, I found a large, what I think is Lasius niger colony here, and basically just dumped them in this empty formicarium, and away they went. So they've got some burrows underneath this rock here. They like to raise their larvae in there. There's also test tubes. There's one buried right down in there, which I think is probably where the queen's located. I've got a few other tubes buried throughout. There's one go back in there. I think you can just see the end of it there. There's more tubes buried in here as well. So it kind of makes it a little bit easier for them to find seclusion and to raise larvae and pupa in a place that's the right temperature for them. So that's the first of the colonies that I want to talk about. This is the second colony I want to talk about. This is Lasius new niger colony that I purchased a year ago spring. And they've been doing quite well. I've got them hooked together with a long section of tubing here, just keep them sort of occupied over into this outworld that I've added here very recently. And they were kind of running out of room in the other one. This one started out as basically a bunch of test tubes with vermiculite around them, and then moss on top. And well, you can see what they've done. They've basically excavated the vermiculite on top of the moss and have a whole bunch of chambers in there and everything else. And well, there you can see their water and their sugar water tubes. And yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. There's tubes buried in there. There's half a walnut. There's all kinds of places for them to nest in, and this is where I feed them as well. And you can see a little bit of mineral oil around the top, and they behave quite well. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how this colony's coming along. This is a Lasius niger colony that I found a year ago spring again, living in a walnut in a woodlot that I check from time to time to see if there's any activity in things like walnuts, acorns, that sort of thing. I added this addition on after a very short time, and there I think you can see they got a whole bunch of larvae in there, and they have a bunch of eggs and small larvae piled on top of the water tower there. So they seem to be coming along quite nicely. They sort of hit stagnated in the middle of the summer, but they're picking up now. They've got a nice bit of brood that they're working on there, and this is their sort of outworld, and also well, in the back there are two sections of chambers, one on the left, one on the right, and right now they're using the one on the right because the one on the left has been sitting on this heating pad, which is okay for cocoons, but a little too warm for larvae, so they're mostly raising larvae in the right-hand one there. All these colonies, plus a bunch of others, have been sitting on this heating pad ever since spring. I bought a thermostat for it, and well, actually I didn't have any holes in any of my formicariums for them, so I set it in a dry pot of soil. This is a sensor for the temperature, and yeah, it keeps them nicely regulated. I think right now I have it set at 27 degrees. So this is a I think Lasius neoniger colony that I found again living in a walnut in a spot where I collect, or at least check. And here I think you can see there's actually yeah, the queen reading there as well on top of that nice lovely pile of eggs. And they're just raising them inside of a test tube that I had sitting on top, actually with their water, their spare sort of water in it. But this is good because yeah, it's nice to see, nice to be able to see them. And this section here still has the old walnut in there, I think, but that's on the heat, so they use that for you know, ripening their cocoons and whatnot as well. I've got a few other Lasius colonies from this spring. This one again, another one I found in a walnut, and you can sort of see they're pretty much inhabiting the whole thing. I'm pretty sure they have larvae there. You can see them there. They've there's a few in that one. There's a few more in there. I'm pretty sure they got a whole bunch of them down in there, as well as a queen living down in that hole, I think. Although I've never seen her yet, but as you know, they can be fairly secretive. So anyway, that colony is doing quite nicely, just in this little setup here. I'm going to just keep them covered up. This is the last colony we'll talk about. This is a small Lasius colony that's, again, was living in a walnut, hollow walnut, and in this instance there I just used half of that walnut and put it up against the edge of this formicarium, covered it with a little bit of moss, and since then they've been sort of thriving in there. And yeah, hopefully I've seen eggs in there. I know that there is a queen somewhere in there. But at any rate, that's going to be another one for next year. So that's the update for my Lasius colonies. Feel free to comment. And yeah, next report, I think we'll be able to wrap up most of the oddballs and incidentals that I keep. And yeah, we'll see you then. Bye now.